guys, I have 15 minutes to create this video. Hopefully I don't mess it up. I have some great news and some not so great news. I'm actually in my basement right now. Everybody's sleeping and I don't want to be whispering or worrying about somebody waking up and interrupting this because, like I said, I only have a few minutes and then I gotta go to work. It's Wednesday morning. I haven't made a video, I want to say a little over 10 days. And this video is going to be about, I wanted to share my updates, my progress, my setback, which is the not so great news. I will share the not so great news first, and then I will save the best for last, which is the great news. And it actually weighs way more than the not so great news, and I'm pretty grateful for that. So over the weekend, sorry about my voice, I haven't been speaking all morning, so I just been really, something happened over the weekend and I guess I just wanted to share with you guys. I was inspired to decorate my room and I decided to put some lights on my window, and my dumbass used a chair that rolled, and as I was putting it up, my daughter called me and I fell off the chair and I landed on my wrist. So now it's swollen. I don't know if you guys could see it. I wanted to share with you guys how much strength I lost and mobility on my left hands. My left hand is my working hands, so it throws me back, where it's frustrating because even putting on my earrings have been a struggle. Putting on my makeup has been a struggle. What does that mean for, it's still swollen as you guys could see. I don't know if you guys could see it, probably not, but trust me, it's swollen. The mobility is not there, and it's very frustrating to say the least. What this means for me in the gym, I have to come up with a different plan, I guess. It throws me back. I was doing 45 pounds. I just recently started doing 45-pound dumbbells for my step-ups, for my glutes maximus, and it was exciting to go that heavy. My chest press was 35 pounds dumbbells. I just recently started overloading. I just recently started using progressive overload because now I understand that after a few weeks, if the repetition becomes too easy, then it's time to either change up, I guess, the sets or increase the overload. And just recently I started, this is very emotional for me guys, but let me just try to finish this real quick. I just recently started my hip thrust. I was doing 245 plates on each side, and I recently just added an extra 25 on each side. I know you guys noticed in one of my videos. And now, right before this injury, I started to feel that I could do 14, 16 reps for those as well, which is, I don't know, I suck at math, but 45, 245s and a 25 on each side. And I was ready to increase it to 245s and a 35 on each side because it was feeling so good with my hip thrust and also my RDLs. Working out with my son, he pushed me and said, Mom, you could do more than 45 pounds on each side. So he threw on 10 pounds and I was able to do my RDLs with 55 on each side. And so what does this mean for me now? Does that mean that I have to go back down to 15-pound dumbbells where I originally started 3 decades ago? I don't know. That's the not so great news. I'm trying to be really optimistic about this injury. I've had injuries in the past before, over the years, and healing naturally does take time. It does fuck you up emotionally sometimes, especially because someone like me, for example, I'm very passionate about weight training. I've been passionate about weight training since my oldest was born. That was back in the 90s. I remember buying my first dumbbells, 10-pounders. I started getting into weight training because I gained so much weight with my oldest son that I was inspired to get fit. And it's been really emotional, and I think I'm still processing it. I haven't been back in the gym. I might have to pivot. I might have to start doing, I'm not gonna just not do anything. That's the thing. I have to figure out what machines I can use for my lower body without using my hands. I could forget about step-ups for a little while, because there's no way I'm going to be able to carry a 45-pound, I don't know, even a 15-pound dumbbell when I do step-ups, RDLs. Forget about deadlifts. Forget about back exercises that require free weights. I don't know what that means, but I'll figure it out. I might have to run. I might have to focus more on mobility stretches. Maybe I'll get into mobility stretches more and do some dynamic stretches and get better at that and slowly work my way back up into the weights. I don't know. I haven't been back into the gym, so maybe today I'll go in and observe, or maybe just go do my run. I don't know. But let me tell you guys the great news, which far weighs out this not so great news real quickly. The great news is that my daughter has made significant progress in her healing, and I just wanted to share it. Over the weekend, she wanted to go shopping, so I took her shopping. We hit the malls and she wanted to go out to eat, which she has in the past, but this weekend brought me some joy. We went out to IHOP and I splurged a little bit. Not guilt, I didn't feel guilty. And she also wanted me to make some taquitos and some Puerto Rican rice. So I also made that for her this past weekend. And I pretty much gave up my weekend for that girl. So that was all good. And I think what was mostly exciting for me is when she sat in my truck and didn't put her seatbelt on and I drove off, and that alarm that beeps in some cars where you forget to put the seatbelt on. Well, I haven't heard that in a long time with my daughter because she was underweight. If you guys remember back in May when I made the video when she was in the hospital the last time, because I took her in because I was concerned because she stopped eating. She was 73 pounds, guys. And they misdiagnosed her. They sent her to another facility, put me through more hell. Told us there's nothing they could do. Send her home 3 days later with some stupid medications and said that she needs to go to a different facility, which was a different path that I didn't take. And fast forward to this weekend, I drove off with the truck and my alarm went off. And I said, I haven't heard that in a long time. So we went out to eat and I was just wondering about that alarm. I was like, man, I wonder how much she weighs. Because that alarm doesn't go off unless I think you're under 80. But I knew that she was gaining weight and I knew that she was healing because I always believed in my daughter's healing before I even saw any evidence. And she asked me a question this weekend, right before I got injured. She said, this is a very sensitive subject for her and it triggered her in the past, so I never really talked about it. But she said, Mom, how much do you weigh? And I said, I think I'm 140. So I went to the scale and I wanted to see if she'll go on it too. So I went on the scale and I said, I'm 140. And I looked at her and I was like, how much do you weigh? And she was just like, oh, I don't know. She was kind of hesitating. I was like, come on, let me see. All natural body. I knew she weighed more than 73 pounds. So I don't know. I just wanted to push that a little bit. And I was like, let me see. She stood on the scale and from May, she weighed 73 pounds. And I am so grateful. I'm so proud of her, how far she's gotten. She's 90 pounds, guys. That's the great news. 90 pounds. From 73 in May to 90 pounds. I'm very proud of her because she did it mostly on her own, I would say. There's no medication. She didn't go to that other facility that they suggested I take her. She had no therapy, no other outside support, but the exceptions of me and her brothers that just believed in her and never gave up. And she ate on her own. She started eating on her own. Now, as far as what we did in the house, therapeutically, as far as us, things that I learned along the way, that's another video. And maybe one day I will share it. But there was a lot of techniques that were involved in that. And I'm just very grateful that we've gotten to this point where we don't have to be concerned, stress, worry about her eating. She cooks on her own, she bakes, and she eats when she wants to. And sometimes she eats more than I do, but that's okay. we're just grateful that she is making some progress. And that's something to celebrate, I think. So with this, it kind of sucks. It's frustrating, but thinking about my daughter's situation, it just brings so much joy knowing that she's getting stronger, guys. And pretty soon we're going to see the 3 digits on the scale. She's going to be working and doing things for herself, being more independent. So I will end this video